So what can go wrong when we use correlation? Well, be very careful. As mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're using linear relationship only. So make sure you look at a scatter plot first. Make sure that there is linear relationship between the two variables. Otherwise, you may miss on a strong nonlinear trend. Like I mentioned before, the example, we could have a correlation coefficient of 0 because we have nonlinear data over here. The next thing to take away is make sure that correlation simply does not imply causation. So for example, we could have a strong linear correlation between the two variables, maybe when we're considering ice cream consumption versus shark attacks, yet one does not imply the other, or one does not cause the other one. Just because we're eating a lot of ice cream, that doesn't mean that that's going to cause a lot of shark attacks. We've looked at some other examples, or I've given you guys some links for, like there was a correlation about cheese consumption versus the number of deaths due to entanglement in your bed sheets and so on. So just because there's a linear correlation between two variables doesn't mean that one implies the other one. In order to show causation, we have to use a very carefully designed experiment that makes sure that we control for any other variables over here. So a strong correlation may be coincidence, or both correlation variables may be directly influenced by some common underlying cause, such as a lurking or a confounding variable. So again, just because the correlation is strong doesn't mean, again, that one causes the other one. There could be some other underlying cause. Now, how do we calculate correlation coefficient on our calculator, and how do we do it on a statistics program? Well, let me show you how to use the TI-8384. Just know, even though I'm going to go through an example over here, you're never going to have to actually calculate this on like an exam question or even in class. But I just wanted to show you guys how to do it on the calculator. I also wanted to point out a couple things about this specific data set. So let's go down to our data set. So this is looking at the number of deaths and the magnitude for 6 earthquakes. So we are going to look at our X value being the magnitude and the number of deaths being the Y. So to enter our data, we're going to go to Stat. We're going to go to Edit. So hit Enter. We're going to clear out our list by going Clear Down. List 2 is already cleared out, so we are going to put our magnitude into our first list. So that's 6.6. We have 8.3, 6.2, 6.6, 6.9, and the last value is 7.4, which is kind of covered over here by my calculator. Then we're going to go to list 2. We're going to put the corresponding deaths. So there were 60 deaths in our first earthquake, 503 in the second. There were 115 in the third, 65 in the next one. We had 62, and the last one only had 1 death. So over here we have our X values in list 1, our Y values in list 2. We're now going to go to Stat, Calc, then we're going to go down to Linear Regression, and we're actually going to go down to option 8, because generally we look at linear regression A plus BX, so we're kind of looking at it opposite from how we would do a linear equation in an algebra class. So our X list is L1, our Y list is L2, frequency list is blank. We're going to hit calculate over here. And this actually should calculate the correlation coefficient. However, I can see our diagnostics are turned off over here, so I'm going to have to turn those on. So to turn on the diagnostics, we're going to click on the second button and 0, which has in blue letters above it catalog. Then we're going to go down to diagnostics, and we're going to turn on the diagnostics. So we'll go to diagnostics on. So this, whenever it doesn't give you the correlation coefficient, you want to make sure you turn the diagnostic on. We're going to hit enter, enter again. Now we go back. We still have our data entered in the list, so we're simply going to go to Stat, Calc, Option 8, which is the linear regression. We're going to go and enter over here, and this time it's going to give us an R squared, and it gives us an R. So let's write this down. Our correlation coefficient is 0.732 rounded to 3 decimals. All right, so let's interpret this. When we're interpreting the linear correlation coefficient over here, we would say that's a moderate to strong linear correlation between the magnitude and the deaths. A moderate to strong positive linear correlationship between magnitude and number of deaths. And that makes sense, right? A stronger an earthquake, we would expect more deaths. But wait, we actually forgot to look at that linear correlationship between the variables. And yes, we can actually graph that relationship on our calculator, so I'll show you that real quick. But in addition, we're going to create a scatter plot by hand. It's, a fairly small data set, so it shouldn't take us very long to do this by hand. But let me show you how to graph it as well. So our stat plot, above the y equals, it says stat plot. So we're going to click the second, the y equal. We're going to turn on the first plot by hitting enter. So now it's highlighted at on. We want to use a scatter plot over here, which is our first type. So that's already highlighted. Our X list is L1, our Y list is L2. Our mark is, either one of those dots is going to work, and we're simply going to hit graph. However, generally, your calculator is set on like a 10 by 10 window for doing algebra over here. So we always want to zoom into our data by going to zoom and then using the stat zoom, which is option 9 over here, and that zooms into our data. So one thing you'll hopefully notice is that when we're considering our data over here, we have, our 4 values down here, which actually seem to follow a negative trend. And then we have this one value that's very far away from the rest of the values that doesn't follow our trend at all. So that one is for sure an outlier. And if we drew this, by hand, we would have the same idea again. Here's our x-axis, there's our y-axis. All right, so let's look at our x variable, which goes from 6 to 7 to 8 over here. And then our number of deaths. So maybe let's look at 100, 200, 500. So our first value was 6.6, and that was 60 values. Then we have 8.3, which had 503 values. So that's way up here. We have 6.2 at 115. We had 6.6 at 65, right above the other one. We had 6.9 at 62. And the last one was 7.4 at 1 over here. So again, what we have is we kind of have 2 clusters over here. We have most of our data, and then this one outlier up here. So again, if we drew a linear a best fit line through our data down here, we would actually have a negative correlation. However, remember we calculated a positive linear correlation coefficient. So what happened there is by the time we put the outlier there, we end up with a slope with a positive line. So you can see how one outlier has a drastic effect on the rest of our data. And keep in mind over here, we only have a total of 6 values. So let's look at our calculator to see what happens if we take out the one value that's an outlier, so we can just see the drastic effect that an outlier can have on the direction, on the strength of our linear correlation. So we'll go back to stat and edit, and I'm simply going to take out the value which was our outlier with 8.3 and 503 people dying. So we're now going to calculate our linear correlation again. Going to option 8, and we're going to hit enter over here. Our correlation coefficient this time was negative 0.959, which actually gets rounded to negative 0.96. So this time, taking out without the outlier, there is a strong negative linear correlation relationship or linear correlation between magnitude and number of deaths. So it completely changed our relationship over here. Now, again, keep in mind we only had 6 values to begin with, so we had a very small data set. So it definitely would be advantageous to have a larger data set over here, but be very careful when we have outliers. How can that change our linear relationship? So in our case, it changed it from a negative linear correlation to a positive. And, both of them, the negative linear correlation was very strong. The positive correlation was moderate to strong. So it was pretty strong relationship, even though we could clearly see that a line with a positive slope was not the best fit through our data. So make sure when you're looking at linear regression, you want to consider the scatter plot along with these calculations over here. And we can also look at our scatter plot one more time. So going to sec and y equal, our plot is already on. We already have everything highlighted, so we can simply go to graph over here, and you can see that this is now, our points are on a pretty straight line following a negative trend this time.